It's not just the fantasy setting that's different in Total War Warhammer. This one is different in that you can only take over settlements of your and one other folk type. Usually, humans can conquer other humans as well as undead settlements, and vice versa. Dwarven clans can only take over other dwarven holds or orcish settlements in the Badlands, and once again, vice versa. Bretonnians are kind of like the humans, and I guess, because I don't have the DLC, that the Wood Elves can conquer Wood Elf settlements, as well as some Bretonnian settlements, as well as some dwarven holds. So you can't just conquer everyone. Initially, this is a bit deflating, but then you realize, finally, a purpose for the lesser used facets of this game. I, at the very least, usually ignored diplomacy to a great extent. I always felt they were lacking in usefulness, that they, at best, delayed war between you and other factions, because eventually you were gonna take them over. But now, some of them you simply can't take over. They make ideal allies. For instance, during my playthrough as the dwarves, I had no reason to attack the border princes. I wouldn't get their territory, and this way I would still keep them as a trading partner. Plus, they were a nice little shield, keeping me from possible attackers from the west, while I expanded south. The only conceivable reasons to attack them would be if they were hostile towards me for some reason, or to sack their settlements for gold. Sure, if they don't want to be friends with you, then you can attack them. You want to expand your territory, but you can burn theirs to the ground and take them out of the game. You know, salt the earth. If it weren't for the folk restriction, I never would have raised any settlements. That would have been wasteful. Plus, this gives a new lease of life on another thing I ignored personally: vassalage. Force someone into being your ally and paying you tribute. So in this game you become a leader amongst others, instead of an undisputed overlord, unless if you love extermination, but I warn you that will be long and finicky work. The fantasy setting also gives the benefit of far more distinction between the factions, at least amongst different folk. Some have armored units and war machines, others use more magic, and thus their heroes arguably become more useful. Some factions use monsters and beasts, and others are all-rounders. At the very least, it gives some spectacular sights, and at most, it delivers a wider array of tactical options, if you plan ahead and are patient. Let's be done with this. Some factions even have different ways of moving around the map, to say avoid armies, or to get there quicker than the standard route would have allowed. They can be great tools for sneak attacks. They also have different things they can research and different buildings they can construct. And while it may seem like a difference in description at first, the different folk can really go about civics in different ways. For instance, the undead have a building that gives a little bit of currency as well as public order. Also, some powerful, useful buildings for later settlement stages. Dwarven factions have buildings that increase trade income, and the Bretonnians have a peasant economy, which really alters your playstyle with them. So, as said,